This is section 2 of chapter 11, applying Mendel's principles. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the idea of probability and Punnett squares. So when Mendel would perform his crosses with his pea plants, he very carefully grouped them, categorized them, and counted the offspring. And what he realized in doing this is that he could predict the results with good probability, that he could explain what those genetic crosses were going to be and the probable outcomes of them. What probability is probability is the likelihood that an event will occur. What we can use in order to predict that likely outcome is something called a Punnett square. This is one way to predict what the outcome of certain genetic crosses would be. It is a simple diagram. It is 4 squares. And what this does is this allows us to predict the genotypes and phenotypes of certain genetic crosses and gives us the mathematical probability of those outcomes. The Punnett square is named for an Englishman named Punnett, and he figured out an easy way to be able to predict the appearance and the likely outcomes of certain inherited traits. He used the checkerboard square, and on one side goes the egg cell, and on the other side goes the genes to represent the sperm cell. Again, in this, capital letters always represent dominant traits, and small letters represent the recessive traits. This is what a Punnett square looks like. You probably learned how to do these in 7th grade. We put the sperm cells along one side and the genotypes to represent the egg cells along the other side. And we bring those down and across in order to do our Punnett square crosses and complete this. We can do this with 2 types of traits. Sometimes traits are closely linked, like eye color and hair color. It's very common to inherit like brown hair and brown eyes at the same time. Those traits are linked. We can use what is called a dihybrid cross, using 4 types of alleles, 2 from females, 2 from males. And we can estimate using a dihybrid cross what the likely outcome will be of those. We're going to do some practice with both Punnett squares and Punnett squares using the dihybrid crosses now. I will have a short video that explains how to complete those for our practice worksheets.